All right, welcome everybody. Ken's and Bridget, thank you once again for allowing me to be part of your Women's Mastermind Retreat, because this is truly like the last part of the word, a treat for me to go ahead and be part of this. For anyone who wasn't here last time, we were able to accomplish so much. What we're going to do today is we're going to help you find what your giftedness is. What is it that God has called you to do? We're going to uncover that. Now, some of you are a little bit ahead of the curve and you already know what God's plan is for you. That's fine. You're still going to get tons out of this little retreat message because we're going to help you grow tentacles. We're going to help you become bigger and better at what it is you're already doing. And if you're sitting there thinking, I have no clue what my giftedness is, that's okay. This retreat is for you. We're going to get there. Here's what I want to assure you. God has a plan for you. He did not leave you out. Everyone gets a plan. And it's something that he plants deep inside of you. He's planted a seed of giftedness deep within you. And today, we're all going to become farmers. Now, I'm not a farmer, although at the last retreat, somebody was a farmer that was in here. But if I go out and I turn over the soil and I plant, I don't go out the next day and expect to pick corn. And that's what I want to tell you. You're going to have a little bit of patience. We're planting seeds today. It doesn't mean we're going out and pulling our crop tomorrow. All right. What is my giftedness? I can't find it. I have no clue what it is. Well, that's okay. Sometimes in life, we need a coach or a trusted advisor to help pull it out of us. You know, even professional football players, professional golfers, professional soccer players, they all have a coach. Why can't we have one to help us be the best version of ourselves? The answer is we can. And that's what today is all about. You know, a lot of times we suffer from what they call imposter syndrome. What happens is we do something so organically and so naturally that we don't even know it's a talent from God that we should be developing and adding skills to. That's the difference. A talent is from God. A skill is something that we go out and learn. What we should be doing is taking our natural, organic, God-given talents and attaching some skills to them. Here's how you know if you have imposter syndrome. Lots of other people are asking you to do something or all excited, inviting you to do something. And inside you're thinking, oh boy, I hope they don't find out that I have no clue what I'm doing. That's an inside out problem. That's where you're just lacking the confidence, but everybody else sees something in you that you don't see. You're thinking, I'm just not that good. I hope no one finds out I don't know what I'm doing. When in fact, you just have to start to stretch yourself and believe you can do it. I am promising you will leave this retreat knowing your unique giftedness. And you say, Michelle, how can you make a proclamation like that? Well, here's how. Because I know what the steps are to you figuring it out, because I had to figure it out for myself. There are some magic questions that will help you find your giftedness. Some people might be thinking, well, is it possible that I am not gifted? Hint, the answer is no, that is definitely not possible. You are gifted. Here are the questions that I'm going to ask you. Picture being 5 years old. You're just little and you're not encumbered by all of these thoughts about what you can't do. Everything is possible when you're 5. What were you really good at? What did you really enjoy doing? What did you enjoy doing so much? Question number 2, that when people asked you to do it, you actually didn't mind doing it again. I'll give you a perfect example. My daughter was a fantastic baker, even at the age of 6. And I would say, Claire, is there any way you would want to make banana bread, zucchini bread? And she would say yes, cheerfully, and be so excited doing it. That's something she was really good at doing. When someone asked her, she didn't mind doing it again. What would you do for free? No one's going to pay you. What will you do for free? For me, it's help other people get where they're going. That's how excited I get about what I do. I would do this for free. And unfortunately, for many years, I did do it for free. But here are the next 2 questions I want you to ask yourself. When you're picturing yourself doing whatever you're doing, even if you're not sure what it is, you're just picturing yourself. Are you alone or are you with a group of people? Even if it's a small group of people, I'm just trying to figure out if you're doing this isolated or if you're doing this with somebody else. And then the last question, and this is kind of important. When you get rewarded, do you like to get rewarded publicly or privately? You see, I always think, gosh, doesn't everyone want to be rewarded publicly? But no, they don't. Some people would die of embarrassment and just want the quiet thank you. Unfortunately, that's not me, but I've learned to not be ashamed of that. I just say out loud, yeah, I kind of like public praise. And that's okay if that's you. I have a picture here of an ocean and a beautiful boat on it. I want you to chart your course before setting sail. This is really funny. What if you were on the dock with me and I said, come on over here for a minute. You see this gorgeous ocean? I think it's the Indian Ocean here. I have a brand new boat. It is tripped out with all the bells and whistles. I have it loaded with gasoline and a ton of food, and it's for you and your family. And you say, is there a catch? Nope, no catch. There you go. Off you go. And you would say to me, rightfully so, because you'd be thinking about yourself and your children adrift in the middle of an ocean. Well, what's the game plan? Where am I going? Well, I don't know. Well, how will I know when I get there? I don't know. And I do have to tell you, you're probably going to lose GPS shortly after you push off from shore. You'd say I was crazy. You couldn't possibly set for sail with your children and your family and not know where you're going, even if you have food and gas. Well, that would be very wise of you, right? Of course it would be. Yet we wake up every single day without charting a course, and we just hope for the best. This is sort of crazy. All right, I love the Bible, and I think all of you probably do, so I'm not going to mess with the Bible. It likes the number 7. What I'm about to go through are 7 steps to you finding and acting on your giftedness. I'm going to help you find it right now. But of course, this is earth, not heaven. There's lots of roadblocks that you might come across during your travels, and we're going to talk about those too and how to overcome those roadblocks. Step 1, this one is paramount. If you're a business person, you will know when you see the SWOT analysis what it means. You need to start to have self-knowledge. What are your strengths, even though it's politically incorrect? What are your weaknesses? We all have them. What are your opportunities that are in front of you? Are you looking for them? And what are your threats, the things that stop you from being really great? I want you to be still, and I actually want you to analyze yourself as if you were doing this for a friend. You see, if you could be more objective about yourself, you would learn more about yourself. I want you to have your dream job. You'll see here in this next slide that what I have is a burst right in the middle of these 3 circles, and that's your sweet spot. It's a combination of what do you love, what are you good at, and where do you get a big payoff? I want to be clear about something. When I talk about your dream job, it does not have to be outside of your house. Maybe your dream is to be an awesome wife and mother, which means your dream job is right where you are. You love it, you're good at it, and there's a big payoff. You're getting souls into heaven, you're nurturing people, you're developing their character. That's an enormous payoff. That's a really good goal. If your goal, however, is to be working outside of the house, we can apply the same thing. Find something you're good at, find something you love, and something that has a big payoff. In your case, it could be a pat on the back, it could be a financial reward. So whatever it is, let's help you get there. And this is a good time for me to tell you, Michelle, why so many pictures? Well, I'm a motivational coach and a trainer. Sometimes I work with people who are auditory learners. That's great. They can listen to me and they can take it all in. But some people are visual. They get bored easily. They want to see some colored pictures. That's totally fine. Whichever kind of learner you are, to make these messages sticky, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have these be sticky messages. Let's go over step 3. You're going to state your gift. You're going to find a vehicle for delivery. And who is your person or your end user? For this case, I'm going to use myself as an example. State my gift. My gift is helping people put the right ladder up against the right house to achieve their goals. I'm going to help them, whether it's with communication, strategizing their game plan. I help people be the best version of themselves. What is my vehicle for delivery? Well, doing things like this, doing all kinds of speeches in different groups where I know people are looking for this message. And also I've got a website. I also dabble in social media, but not heavily. So my real vehicle is speaking to people one-on-one. Stage 4, step 4. Let me pull this all together. We're going to assess what your strengths and weaknesses are and your opportunities. We're going to assess what your giftedness is. And there's a way to figure that out. It's pretty much sitting down by yourself, figuring out those other things that we talked about, what you're good at, what you don't mind doing, what you would do for free. It can be very daunting. I don't know if Melina has spoken yet, but talk to Melina. She'll talk to you about a daunting story. Ask Bridget and Kenzie. Kenzie can tell you everything they had to do just to make this retreat happen. It can be very daunting. You're going to be scared. Guess what? Do it scared. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's deciding to do it anyway. Come up with a strategy. Plans always help you start to organize yourself and knock the fear out. And then lastly, this is so important. You've got to execute, girl. You have to execute. It's all in the action. Otherwise, it's called a daydream. Step 5 is to nurture smart relationships. I love this picture of Jesus. He really looks like my friend, and I know he is. I want you to ask the Holy Spirit to guide your steps and direct you to like-minded people. I believe he's already doing that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here at this retreat. Some of you probably were dying to get here. Some of you came kicking and screaming, and I don't know what you had to do at home to make sure that this happened, but it might have been really difficult. Whatever it is, the Holy Spirit directed you here. I want you to not waste this time together. I want you to confidently reach out to those people that you believe can help you at this retreat. This is sort of one of those times in your life, when they say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Well, this is whatever happens in Florida stays in Florida. We're going to have to learn to keep each other's secrets and to know that our goal isn't to go home and say, oh, you're not going to believe what Bridget did. Our goal is to help people get where they're going. And we can do that through small group communication and actually getting rid of toxic friendships, letting new ones in, and saying to yourself, there's this one thing I've been holding out on. I'm so afraid to say it. I've held on to it for years. Ladies, listen to me carefully. This is your time to unburden yourself and to let it go. Step 6, I want you to act successful today. I don't want you to wait until you're successful one day and then I'll dress the part and then I'll speak the part. Speak it into existence today. Find a trusted advisor. I'm not talking about a spiritual advisor. That's a very necessary advisor, but a different kind. I'm talking about a trusted advisor, somebody in your life who will tell you what's what, hold your feet to the fire, and help you be accountable. Act the part today. Number 7, and this screen is sort of loaded. I'm going to talk you through it. We're going to pull this all together by saying, what are your goals? Begin with the end in mind. Just like the slide that we had where you were in the boat, you weren't just heading out to nowhere. Wouldn't it have been easier if I had said, you're going to Maine, here's what you're going to do, here's what you're going to log into the navigational system? You would have said, sure, that sounds great. Begin with the end in mind. Know where you're going. What are you trying to accomplish? You have to answer these questions for yourself, and I know some of them can be really tough. What do you need, or who do you need? Reach out on LinkedIn. People are so unbelievably kind. I have never once had somebody say no to me. Sometimes I pick a person who's in my space, maybe even someone who maybe I'm a little envious of. I wish I was already doing it. I reach out to them and say, would you meet me for coffee? My treat. Would you let me talk to you for 5 or 10 minutes? The answer is almost always yes. Here's the thing about goal setting. They have to be SMART goals. It has to be specific. Let's say you are selling organic cosmetics. It's got to be measurable. So your specific goal is, I am going to sell organic cosmetics. It's got to be measurable. I would like to sell $5,000 worth of product next month. Well, the next one, it's got to be achievable. Is that a realistic goal if you have never done this before? The answer is no. Maybe knock a zero off. I'd like to sell 500. That's still quite the stretch goal if you've never done anything like this before. And lastly, it's got to be timely. I'm going to tell you something about setting goals with time restrictions on them. Say I say by July 30th, I want to sell $500 worth of cosmetics. And we get to July 17th and July 27th, and I've only sold a lipstick for about $32. Guess what? I'm very far off my $500 goal. I don't say, well, you know what, I'm going to push that out to the end of August. I don't say that because now I've just moved my target. It's a moving target. It's nothing more than a dream. I'm not doing anything. What's better is to say, I didn't meet my goal. My goal was July 31st. I'm roughly 400 $470 off my goal. What did I do wrong? And analyze what went wrong so that you can improve it. If you talk to Olympic athletes, they will tell you they learned way more from the bronze when they did not win the gold than they did the gold. Learn from what you're doing wrong so you can improve it. Now, this is earth and it's not heaven. So we will be absolutely encountering roadblocks on the road to becoming you. We might as well tackle some of them, ladies, as a group together. All right. This next slide is for military wives, but it's not for military wives only. But I really want to speak to military wives because you have some very special circumstances that a lot of us just simply don't have. And I want you to know that you don't get away with not having passion, purpose, and goals just because you're a military wife and life is hard. I want to address 6 areas that I see as being specifically difficult to you. And this might be the most important slide of everything that we go through for both military and non-military women. But for military, your 6 issues that you could be dealing with, maybe some of them, maybe all of them. Frequent moves, which makes it very hard to network when you're constantly moving around. One parent, you're doing all the heavy lifting. Maybe your husband has mental health challenges, the one right below that. Maybe you're doing all the heavy lifting because he can't. Maybe he's physically not even here. Maybe he's in Afghanistan or deployed somewhere else and you literally are alone, figuratively and literally. Childcare, that could be a huge issue, which brings me to my next one, financial trouble. That can be a very difficult situation when you are strapped for money all the time. You're constantly stressed and you have no family nearby to help you. All right, this is where I need everyone to really pay attention because I want to talk about something critical to women. We're really good at nurturing. We're good at helping other people. You know what we're really, really bad at? Telling someone when we need help. No one is a mind reader. And last I checked, I have never been through a gravesite where I have seen on someone's tombstone, martyr or victim. Okay, we're not going to be a martyr and we're not going to be a victim. We're not playing either one of those cards. I want you to sit down and have a little chitty chat with yourself and remember that you are stronger than you know you are. And I want you to try and make order in any small way that you can out of chaos, which sometimes might be your situation. But here's where we're going to get biblical. We're going to talk about 3 B's: boulders, burdens, and boundaries. Boulders in the Bible are translated with the Greek to mean things that are really huge, like a death, something really big where obviously you need a lot of people to gather around you and you need them to support you and help you. But those are things that don't happen all the time. They are oddities, sad oddities, but they are not the norm. The next one is burdens. Now, in the Bible, ladies, it tells us that we are each to pick up our burden. It doesn't say you pick up everyone else's burden. It says pick up your burden, which, wait for it, translates to knapsack. Is there any one of us, even a 5-year-old, can pick up a knapsack? So God tells us he wants us to pick up our burden. This is where boundaries come into place. With the best of intentions, because we're also good and loving and nurturing and we love our family and we hate to see people fail, we sometimes step in to pick up other person's knapsacks/burdens. And there's a big problem with that. And it goes back to something else that's biblical called reap and sow. Now, at the beginning of this talk, I spoke to you about going out planting and sowing something so that one day you will reap your harvest. You can go out and pick corn one day. Let's give you a couple of scenarios. If I have a child and they're saving up because they want to buy their own bike, they roomed their bike and the next bike is on them. They're paying for this bike and they're about 10 and they're saving up all their money. But then they see a couple of fun things at Target. They see baseball cards they want to buy and a pack of gum and something else. Well, when it comes time to buy that bike, see, they had a measurable goal. I want to buy that bike by August 1st. They don't quite have enough money because they made other poor decisions. And you feel sorry for them because they have been trying to save for that bike. So you supplement what they have. That's actually not a great thing to do, even though your heart is in the right place. And even though I've done things like that, I've learned the hard way. I'm not helping my child grow in character, in godly character, because I'm taking away the reap and sow lesson. They sowed something or they tried to, but they didn't reap because I kept jumping in and supplementing what they needed. I'll give you an example about a husband. Let's pretend you have a husband. Let's pretend he's controlling and he yells. And you think, well, I know why he's yelling. He has PTSD, or I know why he's yelling. He got abused. And by the way, these things aren't just for people who are in the military. My husband yells because he was abused as a child. And I know that. And so I will extend him grace and I will be extra kind to him today. Clearly, he's having a bad day. Well, when I do that, what I'm doing is actually rewarding my husband for that behavior. It's the wrong thing to do. So, you know what he's sowing and reaping? I yell and I get extra nice treatment from my wife. That's the wrong thing. That's the wrong lesson. So you're actually interfering with God's plan when you do this. Here's what I want you to think about when you think about boundaries. Something like this would be more appropriate. You can yell, dear, if you want to, but that crosses my boundary and I don't want to listen to it because it's abusive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step into the other room. If you decide that you can speak to me in a calm way, I would love to hear what you have to say. And you remove yourself. There's nothing godly about you standing there and being abused, or you doing all the work when somebody else won't do all the work. Well, they're trying hard. They can't get a job. I'll just do everything for them. You're not helping that person grow in a godly way. And I hope that's not too harsh to share with all of you, but it is really important to share that we overstep our boundaries a lot. And when we do that, we are interfering with God's godly lesson of reaping and sowing. We are stepping in where we should not be stepping in. Now, our next slide is the airplane rule. What do they always say to you on the airplane? If you're traveling with small children, please take your own oxygen first. That's what I'm going to tell you here. Self-care is a top priority. I know you can't always get the right amount of sleep. I had 4 children in 5 years. Trust me when I tell you, I did not get the right amount of sleep. But then I tried to do everything else right. I tried to make sure I had prayer time so I could rejuvenate myself. I tried to make sure I ate really healthfully. I tried to make sure I had workout time. What I did was I had non-negotiables, my habits and my routines. And guess what? My rewards. Everyone should have a reward that is built in every day. And you just look forward to that reward. I teach people this all the time. My reward are these 3 little chocolate. They are delicious. I think it's called Sweet Lorraine's. I should know the title by now. I eat it every day. They are gluten-free, delicious cookies. And I have 3 of them every night with a cup of hot water. That's just my little treat. When I've had a tough day, I know what I got coming. I got Sweet Lorraine coming. Figure out what your treat is. Roadblock number 1 is fear. We all have it. Fear can either stand for forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. Judo people pull their enemy closer. Pull your fear closer. Grab hold of it and attack it. Roadblock number 2. Kenzie, I think of you all the time with this one, girl, because you always say comparison is the thief of joy. It's so true. You've got to love what you have and make what you have better. There's people, and you look at them and say they're prettier, they're thinner, they're richer. The people in their family are mentally healthy. Mine aren't. Woe is me. Don't do that. Just do what you can to make what you've got the best. Remember this, that everyone's got a lawn to mow. And so you could be saying the grass is greener on the other side. Guess what? They still have to mow it. And so do you. Roadblock number 3, perfectionism. Raise your hand if you are a perfectionist. Nothing is good enough. Now, keep in mind, I am not telling you don't strive for excellence. I strive for excellence all the time. It's my mantra. But let go of perfectionism. Be comfortable in the uncomfortable. You don't have all the answers. You don't know exactly what to do. That's okay. Let it go. I have a friend. His name is Armand. Armand, the trainer. He's an incredible trainer, and he's a friend of mine. And he'll say, yeah, people just don't want to work out. They don't want to be fat and out of shape, but they also don't want to work out. And he said, I try and tell them all the time, some is better than none. Do something. Perfection is the enemy of progress. What I want you to do is let go of perfectionism, get tough and get organized, because otherwise roadblock number 4 pops up. Indecision and procrastination. You just keep putting off and putting off. You can say, well, I feel really selfish because I'll be using all the family time taking care of myself. No, you won't. You can still love the people in your family and make time for what you are supposed to be doing. I used to have a workout time from 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning, and my kids who were 2, 3, 4, and 5 all knew they could not interrupt me during that time. Also, we had 6 people in our house. And so if I had to clean the entire house, that would be very daunting. But I gave little jobs to every single person. All of us were going to have fun. All of us were going to clean the house. Give chores to people and don't assume that your kids, just because they're 2 and 3, can't do things. You can't believe what 2 and 3-year-olds can do. Roadblock number 5, avoid time drains. Act like your life depends on it. TV, social media, and telephone. Oh my goodness gracious, they waste so much of your time. The average time each of us spends, they say, on the phone is 6 hours a day. That's 2,190 hours per year. 10,000 hours makes an expert at something. In 5 years, you could have become an expert at something. All right, this next one I just love. It's almost as important as the one about boundaries. And this is roadblock number 6. Please stop the negative tape you have going on in your head. It's holding you back from greatness. I promise you, if you can stop this tape, which is, by the way, brainwashing yourself, you would be so much better off. Stop letting other people use adjectives about you that are no longer true. Maybe when you were little, you were lazy, sloppy, a procrastinator, indecisive. Maybe you were detail-oriented. Maybe you were late or inconsiderate or irresponsible. But is that you today? If it's not, when people use those words, don't be mean to them, but just look at them and say, actually, I know why you're saying that. At one time, that might have been true. It is no longer true. So I am no longer a person who procrastinates. I do things right away. Correct people in a gentle way. And roadblock number 7, drama. Let it go, people. Go on a drama diet permanently. And I want you to start to adopt this attitude. Excuses be gone. Whatever these things are that keep getting in your way, that you keep talking about, I can't do it, it's too hard, it's too rough. Excuses be gone. Stop making excuses and start making plans. I want you to strategize your life because you're only getting one of them. Your life matters. Start to make it count. Start to prioritize you. You can take one little baby step every day. When you lay down at night, you should say, I helped the family, I helped the husband, I helped the kids, I cleaned the house, I got people where they wanted to go. And I did that one little thing that's mine, whatever that area is that you're trying to grow. I made a phone call today. I made a plan today. I went to the library and got a book today. Whatever it is, do one thing every single day. I'm trying to grow my ability to speak French fluently. I make 15 minutes a day where I listen to Coffee Break French. That's my thing that I do for me. And I can check that box to say, I did that thing for me today. What's yours? God says, to whom much has been given, much will be expected. That was Luke 12:48. John Wooden, who was a great college basketball coach. Come on, history tells us he had 10 NCAA titles. That's amazing. Here was his thought. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. Well, if you're not preparing for greatness, if you're not preparing something, that means that you're preparing to fail. Do you really want to fail in your life? Is that a great example to show your children? We're trying to model that you care about your life. Care about your life. Lastly, Steve Jobs, enough said. Here was his quote. We're here to put a dent in the universe. What is your dent? What's your thing that you know you can do really well that you want to share with people? You know, communicating is great. I'm all about it. It's one of my big things that I do as a person, as a professional. But you know what's even better? Connecting. This picture is me on the end with the white pants and the polka dot shirt. Sure, I knew Kenzie and I knew Bridget, but I really didn't know anybody else before that retreat. This is your opportunity to make some new and strong friends. Please don't waste it. Please be courageous and open up to other people. All right, it's time to start the process. The jig is up. I want all of you, when this turns off, to take 5 or 10 minutes, just soulful time with yourself and say, what is one action? I didn't say 10. What is one action right now this weekend that you can do? Maybe your secret is that you don't have any friends. Can you make one friend while you're here? Can you connect with one person? Maybe you've never told somebody a big problem at home that you just can't get past. Can you share that with one person? Whatever it is. And if you need me, I've told Bridget and Ken's, anybody who needs to speak to me that went to this retreat gets 25 minutes, no charge. Just call me. I would be delighted to talk to you. But please use this retreat wisely. I love you all. I wish I was there in person with you. Go forth, conquer, and have a really great retreat. Don't waste this time. God bless you all.